online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. The battle has begun. It's the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion part 1. And we're here to break it all down with some new personalities here, with some fresh perspective. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and the panel's here.
That's right, we are here, and we are so happy to be here breaking down this reunion. My name is Christy Olsen, and you guys can all keep up with me, as per usual, at the Christy Reports.
And I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And from Bravo's The People's Couch, airing Tuesdays at 10, we have Brandy and Julie here.
Yay! It's us.
It's us.
Yeah.
We're here.
Welcome,
Buzz
friends.
about it. Thank you.
Ladies, tell us, what are you thinking about the season? The whole thing. We want to know.
I mean, where to begin?
Take us all the way back.
I mean, where to begin? My mom! I don't know where to begin. You know what I mean?
Well, we couldn't wait for Cancergate.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
did not disappoint.
No.
It carried a lot of the season, but almost too much, I think.
I was waiting every episode in the first 5. I'd be like, when's this cancer thing hitting the roof?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And he would like,
Does he or doesn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
And
he's
you weren't sure. You didn't know. Because you don't know. Who
I
knows?
feel like we're still
don't know.
Right, we
know.
still don't know. You can never really know. We don't
Yeah.
know. But then there would be a tidbit, and then a nugget,
Yeah.
and then another tidbit, and a nugget. You're like, God, and Brooks, and it was so good.
yeah, and Vicky's mom.
Vicky's mom.
No, yeah.
I mean, all of it.
Where are you leaning with Brooks in this situation that he's put himself in?
Well, I think we know he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, he's a liar. I think we know he's a
Okay.
con man and a liar.
Yeah.
I
He's a
mean,
compulsive,
yeah, like a just
like a
liar.
pathological liar.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he's unlikable though.
No.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I mean, he's
right?
not.
It's like you almost can't even help it. Like, he just does not seem like that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
But we know that he is.
Right.
It's the same
He's
with
that
Vicky,
good.
though. It's
He's
the same,
that conniving.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. I
the
don't-
masters are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
pathological.
don't think Vicky's as conniving as T comes across, but she's not really in the right either with the whole situation, and she's still very likable to me. I think she's great.
We love her.
Love Vicky. Love Vicky.
I love her.
She's crazy. She drinks. She's fun. She screams. She yells. She's right. She's a good time.
That's
She's a good
all we
time.
ask for, some drinking and
That's
some
it.
screaming.
Yeah.
But with
We
Brooks,
love
he doesn't like a lot of. Sometimes there's like a lot of the husbands and boyfriends around, and you're like, that guy is like Peter from Atlanta, disgusting sack of shit, horrible, horrible. This guy doesn't seem that bad. Like he seems like he's nice. He's respectful when he talks.
He's very friendly and
Like
polite
he's
to
friendly, he's
everyone.
charming.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, I guess he's trying to show his dick to Brienne. We didn't even know.
I know.
Can't wait for that whole
Oh
story.
no, that little snippet just made
Like
me
what?
I know.
The confusing
Made me
thing is
weak.
that her husband, Brianna's
Yeah,
husband,
Brianna's
is
husband is the
unlikable.
worst. He's the
You
worst.
guys-
Right.
don't
He is
like him.
abusive.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, write me a letter about it, but like that guy
Address it to
seems
me,
literally
too,
straight
'cause
up
I'm with
abusive
you.
to me.
I'm on that same page with you. And I
Yeah.
feel like we found this like a few seasons ago when he was so mean to
That
Her
lady.
mom.
yeah,
Right.
the mom.
She put her feet on the table and he went
Lydia's
crazy.
mom.
He went crazy on an old lady.
Yeah.
He went crazy on her with her feet on the thing, and then he went to everybody telling her to get the F out and blah blah. I was like, that guy?
Yeah, that was it. for
That
me.
guy
I
needs
was
to
done
go.
with him at that point.
We haven't forgotten that.
No, we haven't. And
That's
I
why
will
we
not
all went
let
on
it go.
Brooks' side.
Right.
Because we knew he was so
Yeah.
unlikable and Brooks is so sweet, you know?
Right. So I don't get it.
We're
So-
all friends with the pathological liar. And you know what? You know who you are. The
And if
liars
you don't
know.
think you are,
Yeah.
Right.
You're being called out.
What do you think of the new housewife, Meghan King Edmonds? What do you think? How have you found her? Has she grown on you at all yet?
I mean, I'm like, nah.
I like that
not-
she was so confrontational and
Yeah.
not scared to confront everyone
Right.
and stir the shit up.
Right.
But
She
I
wasn't.
mean, when she called and pretended she had cancer to the screening place, it was just like she'll stop at nothing.
much.
But I do
Yeah.
kind of
Right.
wish this reunion wasn't so focused on her.
Yeah.
Because it's
Agreed.
about to get real good, real hot in the kitchen when we go into like Vic, even Heather. Like it's
Oh,
all going to be
yes,
fighting,
yes.
you know.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
fine with her.
I'm fine with her. She just, I don't know. She's all right. She's fine.
I
the
thought
whole
that stuff
stepmom
with
thing-
Leanne, the
Oh,
stepmom,
yeah.
was tearjerker.
Yeah.
Personally.
Well, so let's talk about Meghan. At the top of the show, they talked about Meghan's parenting skills and how she is a stepmother to Haley, and we got a little update there. And Vicky stands by her viewpoint that just she doesn't get it. She doesn't have a biological kid, so she's maintaining, and it seems that those two are still at a stalemate.
Yeah, truly. And I really thought, I did think that Vicky would budge a little bit. Like, I know she's never gonna be like, oh yes, I was wrong. Of course not. No one's expecting that. But for her to at least be like, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I don't know, like budge a little on it. But she was standing strong. She was not about it. She truly thinks that Meghan doesn't know what she's talking about when
Right.
it comes to biological kids.
Right, and I thought now that maybe we're dealing with the passing of Leanne, that maybe Vicky would concede a little bit. She certainly didn't. She went in on Meghan and Haley. And what came across to me in that conversation was how difficult it must be for Haley to sit at home and watch this and watch everyone talking about her. She's been a topic of convo in many episodes. And I actually tweeted her and I said, that must be very difficult for you. And you know, you really are a stand-up young lady, and she favorited it. So I think she must have appreciated that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the teachable moment where she got to see herself behave at the behavior at the winter formal, and then she had, thank God she had enough time to be able to speak with her mother and kind of, grow from that experience before things went away. So that was kind of a nice.
I mean,
moment. Something real.
I'm not mad at Vicky for that being like, because how long has she been married to that guy?
That's what it is.
To the base.
That's what
I
I was
think
gonna say.
I think the
Couple
thing is
months.
like if she was a stepmom from when that kid was a kid, and then helped grow that kid. Rather than coming in when that girl's 16, and now she's like, oh, I love her like she's my own. It's been like 4 months. Your husband can't even be around you. I mean, he's off, got a
And
boyfriend
he
somewhere.
can't
I
be
mean, I
around
don't know what
Haley
he's doing. Right.
Yeah.
Breaking news here, people.
Right? Well, the issue of the second wife came up, and then it was the girl code question, and Heather got roped into the mess. And I mean, where do we stand with that? How did that end? Well, where are we with that?
Yeah,
It was so brief. It seemed like Heather maybe didn't really want to go there. She just made the justification for herself that Meghan was not the catalyst of Jim and Allison's breakup. So that's how she
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
defended herself in, it's okay to
Maintaining
be
the
friends with
relationship.
both of them.
Right.
And then came back to Meghan, who basically said what she's been saying the whole time. She's like, "It's fine. It doesn't matter. I keep it separate. Let's live our lives." Like, I don't even understand why this is like such an issue.
I think
anyway.
it's because Megan said that the ex, that's like one of his 50,000 exes. We can't keep track of them all.
It's so
But
many of them.
she went on and told them that lady is psycho.
Oh,
So
right,
and they
right.
She called her a
clearly hate each
miserable
other.
person.
Yeah, or something like So I think that they don't get along. And quite frankly, Heather, you did break the girl code. Because if that's your homie and they don't get along, and then you go on the show and become best friends with her, it's like you can't do that. You got to be like, at least treat her like shit a little bit, or haze her or something.
Yeah.
Like they don't get along. If like on Beverly Hills Housewives, there was like a whole thing with like Taylor and David Foster's ex. That was like a whole deep thing that was like, so
Right.
I'm that kind of, I do go for that girl code. Like if I hate her, you hate her. Guess what? If I hate her, you hate her.
Yes, no, I know. I
That's the
definitely
deal.
hate whoever you hate.
Yeah, you have to.
And Taylor is still going at Yolanda while they're shooting Housewives right now.
Oh,
actually.
really?
And we're
Yep.
going to see that all kind of blow up. So
yeah.
good memory observation, girl. We'll be back for Beverly Hills Housewives.
Yeah.
Also, I love how righteous they get about, like, the one thing that you don't do is you don't speak bad about a mother. You never speak bad about a mother. Like, you're all mothers. Like, everybody's a mother. Like, we're all someone's daughter and somebody's mother and somebody's sister and somebody's like, we got it. We're all human beings.
Yeah, like the
but
whole
Your
don't
Honor,
swear on kids thing. Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
None of it's precious. Stop back being righteous like that. You're on a reality show. You put all your shit out. You fucking put leeches on yourself. I'm sorry I said F word, but whatever. Like,
You're
you know what I
feeling
mean?
it.
Your
Feel
husband
it.
Take it
touches
off that
tits all day.
pedestal
Like,
there.
come on.
Yeah.
Like, let's not pretend being. You know what I mean? Let's not make anything precious.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yes.
Come on.
Completely.
Vicky was quick to throw shade Megan's way when Megan was talking about the tweets about Brianna getting the car, and then she said, "Well, my daughter's educated. My daughter works." Vicky's go-to. Who's working? Who is it? I love it though. That's like you can always count on Vicky to bring up the employment of these women.
Yeah.
That's another moment where I go, "Oh, Vicky, you're so awful." And then I'm like, I would say the exact same thing. Like where I'm like, "Oh, check yourself because you don't want to sound like Vicky."
I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she is the only one who works an actual job. Not that being a homemaker isn't a job or selling real estate, for an hour a month isn't a job. But
really.
like, you know, she has the insurance job. I live for that insurance job.
She's made her own money with her job. She's created her own business.
And it's basic bitch job. It's selling insurance.
Right, so fine. But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind that she went to a woman who was laying naked with sushi on her at a party and told her, hey, you're better than this. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what? She is better than that. You don't need to lay there with sushi on yourself as people eat off of you. Like, you know, I'm not against it. Do whatever you have to do to make money, but like, yeah. What's wrong with that?
I loved that moment. I just thought it was so ridiculous.
Well, and aren't we pretty sure that girl isn't in school getting an education? Right? Like, can we just...
Yeah.
Assume rationality, probability. Let's just say she's probably not enrolled at Berkeley or whatever the hell school is.
I felt bad for the girl because she's got this woman over her. She's naked on a plate, and then there's a camera crew.
She's like, thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'll sign up
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Right, lady.
and
She's
she's
like a piece of sushi and be on your way.
And she signed the release, so she's like, oh, you know, this is going up. You know, this is my claim to fame.
She's thinking, am I going to get paid extra for this treatment?
I hope
she should.
Yeah,
I hope
getting
she
paraded like this on national television.
I hope she embraced it. I hope she has like that screenshot, like her Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I hope so. At least get something
Sushi
out of
girl.
that.
Sushi girl.
Yeah. Well, Vicky went from telling that one to get a job, and she even offered her a job kind of at Kono. She was trying to help her out, right?
No, she said to be an intern. So let's be clear that here she wants this girl to make money, but she's not trying to offer her any. She just wants her to work for free.
She wants her to get educated. Because we know that a degree can really help a lot.
Mine
God
so much
knows
for me.
Me too. Thank God I got a degree.
I feel you.
Thank God.
Right? All you guys, right?
The only thing I have from that is a loan.
That's right.
I'm still paying mine.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I hope you're all pursuing those useful broadcasting.
Sorry, kids. Sorry, kids.
Yep.
Everyone's quickly going on Craigslist finding the next sushi girl job.
Yeah.
And make some weekend money.
Well, Vicky claims she got an influx of resumes. She said that she got a bunch of talent sent to her. What do you think?
I'll send her a resume. I want to go work for her.
I would love to see a spin-off where Vicky tries to school those kind of girls. These uneducated sushi girl types.
Like The Apprentice, but Vicky.
Yes.
Vicky the Apprentice.
Vicky style.
I like where this is going.
That'd be good.
That would be good.
And the line could be like, you're fired. Go back to the strip club.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Well, Vicky started talking about her mother's death, and feel like it's morbid, and we're kind of all having a good time here. But whatever, we'll talk about it happened in the season, and we got more details on how she had to use Shannon's landline because they didn't have cell service, and apparently Brianna was contacting both Tamara and Vicky. I mean, it had to be a nightmare for Brianna to know that news and not be able to get in touch. Like, there's nothing worse than when you need to talk to someone, you can't get them on the phone. And
well, and doesn't Shannon have that kooky house that there's like no Wi-Fi and like no radiation and no whatever she thinks it is, that it's like not in her house.
Yeah, there's no cell service. They said,
which is scary. Like, I wouldn't even want to be at her house for that reason.
No.
Exactly.
You get life-shattering news and you can't even get it properly because you're at Shannon's.
Right.
But you're not going to get DDT poisoning from her sheets.
I guess, but when you need news, you need news.
Yeah, and not in the gift wrapping room or wherever.
The crafts room.
I
was
like
in the Wi-Fi, but you have the crafts room.
We were in the crafts room, and I said, David, I think there's a phone call, and I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Vicky needs a phone call, and I wasn't sure.
Spot on.
Very good.
David. I love Shannon.
Me
Yeah,
too.
she's great.
And
Vicky claims she blacked out from the whole thing. She doesn't regret the cameras being there. And I don't blame her. When you go through tragedy like that, you think she's gonna stop? You think she's gonna stop and say, "Can you please just turn down?" Like no one's gonna do that. And of course, blacking out in the way. I'm like, I felt bad for her because you're that's when you're just like in this bubble. Everything's awful. But I think she carried herself well. I mean, after the fact,
I think she soaked it. She milked it a little bit after, but obviously, that was horrifying. And who knows how one would react when they get that news? If she fell down to her knees and she blacked out, it was horrifying. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It's out of nowhere,
and it was real.
But then after that,
real.
you should just go ahead and go.
Yeah, after that, you need to
She
go.
stayed there and continued to cry there for hours.
Right, my mom! Like the whole, just over and over and over again, which I all heard for a week after. It's like, my mom! Like it was
you were
over
like waking
and
up
over
from
and
nightmares
over.
with the sound.
And just like after the first
So was
thing, you want her to have a little take your sadness and that I get it. It's emotional and horrible.
Yeah.
And maybe just check out for a little bit.
Privatize
And you
it.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Once and I think that it's cool that people got to see that because that kind of thing happens to everybody, and so to be able to have that moment and watch it is
it's real.
actually kind of cool and vulnerable and emotional,
Definitely.
But then don't go to the bowling alley and be like, my mom is gonna what?
Oh, yeah.
What? And then come on.
Joking about
Yeah.
using the inheritance for a yacht.
Just all that.
Oh,
just,
yeah, that was
yeah.
bad.
It was just a little milking for little attention seeking. But you know what? I still love it. I don't
Yeah,
care.
well,
I mean,
it's the nature of the
it's
beast,
the show
you know?
or whatever.
I mean, she's still talking about the mother. The void is getting worse.
Yeah.
Which I
getting
can imagine is true.
Yeah.
They did conclude the conversation in a really nice way with her telling this hilarious story about her mom and the Harley driver and her mom keying the car and the police coming. I mean, I think, if you're going to commemorate someone on Real Housewives of
What a
Orange
way.
County, that's the way to do it.
It
I'm
shows
sure
her
her mother was
spirit, yeah.
laughing.
Yeah.
Laughing
What a
from
way
heaven.
to go. Well, then things turned back to Meghan and her ways of just really wanting to get to the truth. And we saw the profile of her. And Tamara said, of course, that she's her mentor. And her advice to Meghan is that she just needs to let it go because that's what she did. And the truth comes out, and then she dropped the Gretchen name. So she's still any chance she can to say that she just wants everyone to know she bested Gretchen. It's constant with her. What do you think?
Wait, what is it?
Gretchen!
Gretchen with.
It was Tamara's sort of feeling about people who keep trying to prove somebody wrong, and she said
and
that
just let it go.
Right, and the more that she kind of learned from her own experience that the more that she tried to out somebody, the more ridiculous it made her
Okay.
look. So she was sort of like,
And that was all about the Gretchen thing.
yes, and that's where she had to do her name
Right.
drop.
Okay.
She has to let everyone know that she took a step away and she was successful with Gretchen. That was her huge
That
nemesis.
was her lesson learned.
Ridiculous.
Back off of Gretchen.
And then we get into the whole business at the beginning of the season with the relationship between Shannon and Meghan, and then the phone call for the charity, and she thought it was a sales call, and she didn't remember Meghan after her husband hit on her at the hoedown. It was still, first of all, this hoedown I feel like happened like years ago, and we're still
It
talking
did.
about this. It did. The house is almost done.
Yeah. So this was like a year and a half ago, basically, like early summer, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, I mean, so she claims she didn't remember, and then we
You know she did
flashback.
because they said
concluded it.
Megan's on the show. Remember the one David hit on at the hoedown? She was reminded 50,000 times.
Yeah.
And then she was at the upfronts for Bravo, probably with her there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They met before they.
Right.
She knew.
I don't buy any part of that story.
Yeah.
That she didn't know Meghan and she thought it was a sales call. It's like, no.
No,
The whole thing irritates me so much.
Right?
Yeah.
And she also admitted at the end of talking about it that it was about David.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, well, yeah, my problem was
Right,
with
'cause that
David and
was
the fact that he
emotional.
didn't introduce you and the whole, so.
They had gone through 5 hours of couples emotional coupling.
Shannon, first of all, I don't get it. Shannon's like talking about this personal cell phone number, but she's in the middle of production on a show. I mean, anybody could be calling her.
No, and then she says that the number was given to Meghan by a person that she had only met once. So then why isn't the issue with that person? Like, you only met that person once. How'd they get your phone number?
Right,
why is the
right.
issue
Yeah.
with Meghan? Like, there's so many levels of just...
Yeah, she should have
Probably
just
a
said
high-level
Sophie was in the
charity
back and she
executive.
was annoying and I don't want to have this call on speaker with my stupid kid in the back. I'm
Yeah.
going to school. I don't want to deal with
Yeah, see, I would believe that.
because that was the truth.
Right.
I would
Or
believe that.
I remember that my husband hit on you and I'm not super fond of you, so
Yeah.
I hang up on you
Yeah.
now.
Right.
I'm not going to donate to your dumb whatever fake thing you're doing.
Right.
JDRF, ABCDEFG.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, and then Shannon still though had to like really defend her position in Napa. That is one of the most irritating moments for me of this whole entire season. Really was the whole Napa issue and how Shannon was straight up a crazy person.
Because
And no
even
matter
so
what she
Shannon,
says,
aside from that,
yeah, and she will not relent, and she's just like, oh no, I was still right about the whole thing. No, she acted just like Heather said, disproportionately upset over what was happening, and it made no sense. And then she had to defend herself by saying, I am not crazy.
Yeah.
She was out of her mind in Napa. Isn't that when she drove the golf cart away? And it was like, and they're like, oh, they're here. And then they just drove off.
And then they just turned
Yeah,
right
she
around.
was like losing her mind. I mean, she
No,
should just
truly.
be able to say, she should say she blacked out that whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, and she even said that she had just gotten done with the
five-
mental,
five-
emotional.
Oh, that too?
Yeah,
Mental,
5 days
emotional
prior, yeah.
coupling. David.
Exactly.
David.
So, at least if she could chalk it up to that and say, like, look, I was under very emotional duress. I couldn't focus, whatever. Like, I'm sorry for whatever I did. It was because of this. No, she still has to defend her craziness.
I still can't get over that moment when they had to do the eulogy with them laying in front of the.
I couldn't watch that.
You couldn't?
No,
really?
Absolutely not.
What happened? It was just
horrifying.
cheesy, and they was like, "Here lies my wife. I cheated on her."
Yes, yes. If I could tell you anything, I would. No, that's like Eon Love fixed my life kind of shit. I can't get it. Like, look in the mirror, see who the enemy is. Do you know who that is? Yourself. Like, I can't.
Too deep. Yeah.
Well, too cheesy.
Too
Awkward.
stupid.
I did
Well, even Julie does too. Don't let her fool you.
Eon fix my life.
Right. I just can't with those exercises.
I know.
Well, even David even claimed he did it wrong. He said he didn't follow the instructions.
I'm sure he did it wrong because he was probably lying. Right.
It like hurt her feelings more or something. One of them
she
did.
can't. The feelings come in.
Oh yeah.
And they don't leave.
Julie loves that one. Sometimes
don't
she's
ever
just
leave,
being,
David.
She's there, and then sometimes the feelings come in.
And then I go to a restaurant.
Oh God.
And I imagine her sitting here with you.
In every single restaurant.
Every restaurant, right? Because he went to every restaurant.
It doesn't matter because he lived.
Right.
Sometimes I'm walking and I imagine she's walking.
Right. I'm working with David, and he brings her up. And I'm walking. I think this is where she walked.
I don't know how the hell transition from that to Tamara's custody battle. We got to talk about Tamara's custody battle because a lot of facts kind of unrolled. This was, kind of the meat for me of this episode. We got a lot of questions answered, and let's all kind of chat about all the different details. That way, I'm not reading off a list. But so she sat down. She said she had a bunch of life-changing events last year. We learned about her daughter Sydney, and Sydney was there. They were texting. She wanted to come by, and then she said, "I'm moving out with Dad," and never came back for 2 years, pretty much.
Right, and also that we knew a lot about. We didn't know about this entirely opposite situation where her son Spencer has decided to live with her full time and wants nothing to do with Simon.
I know.
That was brand new information.
We never see him. Is he not on the show? Like
None of
Simon
the kids with
won't do
Simon
it.
are.
Oh, okay.
But he won't sign off.
Yeah, and she
was
was really upset about it because, of course, last year she tried to show that she was not a monster mom, and I know she really pushed to have them on that season so that way she could show that side of herself, and of course it would look good for legal purposes. Mm-hmm. So the more housewives are using the show to prove something to a judge. I'm just thinking of Teresa.
Right?
I'm just like,
That is Tamara's problem. The fact that she continues to discuss all this publicly is exactly what her daughter doesn't want. By all reports, her daughter's main issue with Tamara is the embarrassing on-screen behavior, the publicity of their lives, that kind of stuff is exactly what she doesn't want. I would certainly think that if Tamara really wants a relationship with her daughter going forward, that she would cut it off here, now she got to tell her story, and never mention a word about Sydney ever again in public.
mm-hmm. Do you think that she should leave the show?
I know she's not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
not an
I think
option, yeah.
If being a mom
is more important, then that's the
really
priority.
we really want her to come be on the show next week. So I think whatever she did was fantastic. They're probably not watching this far in anymore. So
I love Tamara.
What was she talking about with the therapy? Does the daughter have problems?
The court ordered Sydney and Tamara to do therapy together, and Simon and Sydney went to the court and said, "Hey, Sydney doesn't want to do this." And the judge said, "All right, she's 17. Should they have evidence why she shouldn't have to do it? She shouldn't have to do it then."
Yeah, she was old enough at that point at 17 to, I guess, be able to deny any sort of treatment. It wasn't medical or mental or anything like that. It was simply like relationship, family counseling, essentially.
Right, yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and Tamara's still trying to pass that off as alienation by her ex-husband.
Yeah, parental alienation.
It certainly seems that Sydney's making those decisions on her own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the ladies all kind of collectively agreed that was all Simon. Mm-hmm. So...
what else can they do?
Right, exactly.
A little tidbitty for you. Watch What Happens Live. Gina, Lori, Lynn, super juicy. I got about the first half in before I had to leave the house to come do the show here. But Gina talked about she still talks to both Tamara and Simon and is on kind of both sides of it and really spoke to the whole issue. Mm-hmm. So yeah, make sure you don't lose that.
I love Gina.
Me too.
I'm her number one. Like I need her on this.
She's gonna come back, I'm sure. Don't you think? Or
I hope so. No one can stir a pot of you know what like her. It's like the best quote is what Tamara said. She's like, she's the one that can come in a room and pass gas and then leave blame on everybody else. That's her. I need that on the show.
But she's still
There's room
so
for her.
involved with all the ladies and with all the storylines. It's like,
Yeah.
how
And
is she not
spouses.
part of it? Yeah.
She left Kodo. I guess she's like leasing her house. And that made me sad because I was like, oh, I want her to be part of it. Like that's where it all started, But there's room for her. I looked at that couch. There's only 5 ladies. I'm used to seeing 12 ladies. If you look at what's in New York, it's like who's
like
that?
too many.
So
Yeah.
so I'm like, there's definitely room for her and for Gretchen. But that's my opinion. So I don't know.
And Lori too, maybe? Little room for Lori?
Oh, she had her time. She screwed up last season. So she
Sounds
lost
like
her
her kids
time.
are still a mess. I want to know what's going on with them.
I mean,
That's the only update
I
you
don't
want.
I don't need.
kids.
And that's what she said on Watch What Happens Live.
I don't need to see Gretchen hold an orange, but I just think she could be, making an appearance every once in a while just to piss Tamara off.
Well, you have
Can
to
she
save
hold one of her
room.
handbags with a picture of an orange on it?
Oh my!
I feel like
The
she would try to do
plastic
that.
handbags. I loved that. So what else can we say about Tamara? I mean, I genuinely felt for her. Do you think that maybe this was, a display, or did you really believe everything? I personally believed her strife.
Well,
Yeah.
she's saved now, so I mean, she's telling the truth, right? Now
I
that
think
she's
so.
saved,
Yeah, I guess.
now that she's baptized in a pool.
Did you guys buy all that? What were your thoughts on that?
I believe that she believes what she believes. You know what I mean? Which I'm fine with. So, I really think that she believes what she believes, which I think is all you need to believe. You know what I mean?
Say believe
I
one
want
more
my
time.
belief.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
if that's her shit, then
It
good
does
for
seem like it's making her
and it
genuinely
makes her
happier.
Yeah.
and then good for her.
But it always
whatever
has
you
to
need.
degrade into some competition, like a Christian
Right,
competition.
always.
Like, why don't we have a Christian Olympics?
Right.
Everyone can compete in this.
Right.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who's
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just decide who's the better, and then it just turned into a fight over whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Alexis had to make her voice heard.
Yeah,
And,
we all
uh,
thought it was going to be
it was going to be Gretchen.
Yeah, but no, she's saying that she cannot sit back and watch someone making a mockery of her
her
savior.
savior.
So,
Except for
She
calling
wants
herself
to be the
Jesus
one who's on
Barbie.
this show
Right, yeah.
with
What
her
can we
cars and her
say?
nails and her boobs
Right.
making a mockery of
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah,
Right.
anyone's going to make a mockery of Jesus, it's Jesus Jugs.
Yeah.
And
What
so
can we
what,
say?
though? And also, so what? If
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
wants to make a mockery of your savior, who
Yeah.
gives a fuck? Can I say
Let 'em
that?
go to hell.
It doesn't matter.
said it.
It doesn't matter.
Too late.
Because if you believe, then you believe.
Yeah.
You don't need me to believe. You believe.
No,
you can
it's
make a
true.
mockery of him. I don't care.
It's
right?
true.
Who
And
cares?
I
But,
did think it was very sort of strange that that Alexis reached out in that way. Like she is so the one to be putting Tamara down. I understand she has past beef, with Tamara from previous seasons, but bottom line is exactly what does it matter?
It doesn't.
They
They
all
shame
they all
someone in
Yeah.
their belief. Who cares?
I mean,
She knew it would be read on the show, as evidenced by the fact that she signed it Jesus Barbie. Was that
Yes,
it?
that's
Right?
correct.
Yeah, so that was her aim to get her name back out there. Maybe someone
But
will
I
tweet
never
Andy and
knew
say
of
she
the
should
Jesus
be back on the
Barbie.
show.
I only
no
know
one ever
Jesus
called her that.
Jugs.
she
She changed it herself.
Jesus Barbie. Yeah, she called herself that. Yeah, that was. So I
They
guess she's
should
like
make that,
reclaiming
though.
it.
That would be a
Their
good
problem
deal.
is that they all go to the same church. They all go to
yeah.
the same big church in the OC.
But that's that one where it's just online and you just watch it from your house,
Yeah,
right? So
that's
what's the
Saddleback.
problem?
So I think
Right.
they're all mad there because she was probably the queen OCB
Right.
there, and now
Oh,
Right.
now Vicky's getting
Right.
involved.
Well, not to mention, I mean, there was like a whole thing with Vicky talking about Satan. I mean, there was a whole
That was season.
there was a whole
Yes.
undercurrent of like
Yes.
Satan just puts in the demon into your thoughts and whatever.
Satan
Like, what
is
is
the
everybody
author
talking
of
about?
all of this confusion.
Right.
Oh, the
I
confusion.
mean, what? Now she's getting baptized and Jesus Barbie's heading down the thing and what? I mean, what's going on in this town? This is a very weird town.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm not surprised about all of the religious talk because a few seasons ago, Andy kept saying how important religion is to Orange County because apparently, there's a lot of conservative, really religious people, and he's always tried to make that a through line on the show. So I'm sure anytime they mention the word Jesus, they threw it in to try to keep that. That's like they want to have that be
Yeah.
part of like the fabric,
Yeah,
Is that a real thing?
Well, I grew up in Orange County, born and raised.
They're like,
What does that mean about
we're
me?
going to need more time with you to make a decision.
Yeah. Truly, though, growing up, religion was not as prevalent as they're making it seem. I think that it's sort of like a newer thing, and maybe like a more recent affluent Orange County sort of thing.
yeah.
Trendy now.
Like totally a trendy thing, and like these churches, these like holy roller churches, are kind of coming up and being the thing to do. But truly, 20 plus years ago, it was not
Yeah.
like that. No. So
Okay,
I
they're
think that
shining
might
some light.
Yeah, I do think that might be sort of like a push that they're just kind of trying to angle for this,
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
franchise.
Interesting.
David. David.
Well, Tamara basically wraps everything up saying that, Jesus jugs give Christians a bad name. And I mean, if anyone didn't know all these pet names and all these ridiculous, they wonder what the hell we were talking about. I mean, the whole thing's so ridiculous.
I know it is,
They're all
truly.
debating about who's a better Christian. I don't know.
I mean, the Duggars give Christians, but there's Christians have been getting a bad name for hundreds of years.
Thousands of years.
And reality TV is not helping.
I mean,
Yeah, when Alexis and Tamara are like the pinnacles of Christianity. That's
right.
like,
Like these
that's
are
a
the
whole
two.
nother thing.
Those are the two that we need
Right,
to.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the bar.
That's
That's the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Personally, I was glad to see that Tamara found her religion because I can relate to people who have been through hell and it works out for them that way and that's what gives them the strength. So personally, I'm like, good for her. Like, I'm glad it's changing her life. She seems to be in a better place, and perhaps all that behavior from last season, we now have a little bit more of like we get her motive for being so awful.
The
pretty
sense of
much.
the struggle that was
I also like
going
that
on.
she didn't change her core. I thought her sense of humor this season was really good. Like, I thought she was one of the funniest people on the season. She didn't change her bite or her, she didn't just vanilla up and
Yes.
be like, everyone's great and I'm not going to talk back about it. I mean, remember when Camille stopped talking
was
bad
just gonna
about
say
everyone?
that, yeah.
Like, beat it, Camille. It's the only reason we all cared to listen to you. It's like,
yeah.
so at
Season
least she
1
didn't do that.
Camille, there's just no comparison to
Yeah.
that. Oh, so good.
So good.
I know, she was serving it.
No impression there? Because we
Not
don't say that
Camille.
he hits you?
No, no
Camille,
Camille.
no.
That one's not so funny?
Wow.
No,
Coming.
Camille. I don't hear her voice.
Yeah, it's
I
not- she
haven't
hasn't
heard it.
enough.
I need to
She
hear
needs
it.
to do it.
And
It's
then,
been too long.
yeah, because we haven't heard her talk
She
in a long
did the
time.
psychic. In that whole thing, Julie did the
God,
psychic.
the psychic,
whole time,
and I can't remember her either. But that whole thing with that lady
Oh, God,
smoking,
yeah, that was a
and
mess, too.
remember that? I mean,
Alison Dubois.
Alison Dubois. Yeah, like that whole thing was amazing.
Oh, she would love that we're talking about her right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched that show. I watched Medium. And I
Show
did.
about her and her
Yeah, I
life.
didn't know, but then I didn't know it was about that lady, and then
Yeah.
there's that lady sitting there being a bitch, and I was just like,
I have
that's
a show.
the lady.
I have a show about me and about my life. Like, what? Who are you?
Who are you?
I love it. I
But
love
remember now, we remember, even though this is a different city, but we remember now that she did say Mauricio, their cigarette, was cheating.
Well, never-
I mean, everyone could.
Never emotionally fulfilled Kyle.
Yeah.
This is weird. It's weird to talk about these things. I feel like I haven't talked about Beverly Hills on this panel in months, so it's just like weird.
We're so excited to do so
Bring
in
it back
about
in.
Yeah.
4 weeks or something.
Well, yeah, is that show coming back this year or next year? I thought it was coming back in January.
I just looked it up
I'm
just
sure,
a
of
couple
course,
days
you know.
ago, and no info as to an air date. So it must be at least
come on.
8 weeks out, because even on the Bravo site, they're still referring to the last season. It's not like get ready for the new season. It's like, oh, what was your favorite moment of last season? So they don't even have it
Yeah.
on their radar quite yet. We know they have been
yeah.
shooting for quite a while already.
Usually they'll start premiering those things like the 5th of January, like kind of like the beginning of the year, because that's what they did last season. So I don't know. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
Well, we just assume because Vanderpump Rules is coming back at the beginning of November. Usually those two are paired
And
together
Atlanta.
at least at the same time.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
So it's kind of curious.
Yes. Well, for those of you who don't watch those shows and you're just here for Orange County
Oh,
Housewives,
please! Nobody that watches Real Housewives of Orange County doesn't watch Real Housewives of Beverly
yes.
Hills.
That's true.
well, let's transition to some news and gossip. Christy Reports has
Yes.
all the latest. She's got a lot of stuff. This is a good one.
It's full pages of notes here on the news and gossip.
Yes, this is a juicy one, and you're gonna have to follow me a little bit here. I'm gonna start with the little things. There was a lot of tweeting back and forth after last week's finale. Meghan tweeted Vicky and told her that she is a filthy, vile human. Them are some fighting words.
She
Yeah,
did
really.
not hold back.
Yes, this was part of Vicky's whole no one cares about me anymore, no one's reached out to me tour, right? So Vicky posted a photo with Gina, and part of what Meghan came back with was, well, you told us that Gina was a disgusting human being and you refused to film with her after your mother died. And now you're standing there with her. And then Vicky came back with like, what do you care about Gina? And now we know the actual backstory behind that. Gina said on Watch What Happens Live, this is so, and we've got so much more after this, I'm getting so deep.
Yes, please. I love it.
Someone told Tamara that Gina said Vicky was a great actress during her mother's death on the show. Gina says she, of course, didn't say that. It came from a fourth person or
Gina.
whatever. Yes. And
Gina.
so once Vicky realized that, now her and Gina are friends again. But so Vicky did call Gina disgusting.
Classic
Sounds
Gina.
like dodgy.
That's right. And speaking of Heather or Vicky being all, nobody cares about me. Now, she went on Watch What Happens Live last week and said that no one has reached out to her. Heather calls BS on that. She says right before Vicky's appearance on Watch What Happens Live, she texted her and said, have fun in New York City, break a leg. And Vicky responded and said, oh, great, thank you. I was just thinking about you. So that was a big fat lie. Tamara and Vicky. Tamara says she's finally cut Vicky out of her life.
Whoa.
And she also concludes that Vicky put Billy and Rhonda up to the shenanigans we saw last year.
Stevie Wonder could have saw that.
Yeah.
Vicky also
Completely.
brought up this week, if you remember, a couple seasons ago. I'm getting high, y'all.
It's getting good. That means it's getting
Tamara
good.
said that she had some cervical cancer issues, and also that she'd found some lumps in her breast. This was in 2012. She mentioned that on the
Yes.
show. I remember that. It was never really discussed after that. And now Vicky is coming back at Tamara with, well, what about when you said you had cancer? We didn't ask you for proof, and whatever happened to that? So that's getting pretty shady.
How low can you go?
Right?
Yeah, that's bad.
That's right.
That's real bad.
And something that we have actually kind of wondered all season about the ladies and when they found out about Shannon and David's affair, Vicky says that Tamara told all the ladies last year already. She told them the woman's name and all the details. So we now know for sure that the ladies did know all about this affair before the season started airing. And now,
Apparently, though, Meghan didn't, though, because she was tweeting with Lizzie, and she said, I didn't know about this, did you? And Lizzie said, yeah, I knew.
Megan
but
would have been
Meghan
out of the
didn't
loop
know,
at that
yeah,
point last
yeah.
year. Yeah, but so besides her, apparently all the other ladies were aware of said affair. And now we get to the really juicy stuff, which everybody watched. Brooks had an exclusive interview with E! News' Melanie Bromley, which aired on E! News. The second part is going to be tomorrow on E! News. Very juicy. I thought the earth-shattering thing of this was him saying that Brianna had significant daddy issues.
Yes.
So
That's the only note
effing
I
rude
took.
of him to say that. Yes, he also revealed that he and Vicky went to a reality TV couples counselor. Yes, such a thing exists. Back in March. And that's when they sort of realized that the relationship was going to be over. He says he is no longer in love with Vicky. They're both dating again. He said that he would be watching the reunion tonight, of course. And one of really interesting thing was that he and Vicky discussed whether to talk about his cancer on the show. This was last year. In December, she hadn't signed on to the show yet, and they actually told her, if you don't show your full reality with Brooks and his cancer diagnosis, you will have a reduced role on the show. So that led to the interviewer asking Brooks, so did you feel like you were pressured to do this? And he said, no, no one can make me do anything I don't want to do, but
he
I
did
did
it
do it for Vicky.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
Me too.
You know, that's the red flag right there that says that she definitely did push to amp this up, you know,
Right.
and have it be a prevalent storyline.
And keep that paycheck.
Yeah.
He also claims that he broke up with her. So
That
who
he's
knows?
the one who
Yeah.
said this isn't going to work.
Right, yeah. And going back, let's go back really quickly. What's the status of Heather and Vicky's relationship? I know you touched upon it with Watch What Happens Live, but I think there's a little more to the story.
Well, Heather concluded that soundbite by saying that blew it, quote unquote, that blew it for my friendship with Vicky.
Oh, so she's done too.
God,
She said
everyone's
she's
done
done
with
as well.
Vicky?
Yeah.
I hope they don't try to do that old Nene where everybody gangs up or Jill
Oh, yeah.
Zarin.
Yeah.
You really can't get the head honcho out like that. It will backfire, I think.
Yeah. And like, I don't want another Vicky redemption tour. Like, we're gonna start off another season with Tamara and Vicky after months of not speaking, going diving or something like.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go again. I mean, it's like, is it every season or every other? And we're in going to be starting season 11. So do the math. Too much.
So true. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need
It's not
it.
fresh anymore for them to be fighting and making up.
I know. We need
But
new people,
I
new
will-
storylines,
Yeah,
something.
I will sit through it though because I want Vicky to stay. I don't want her to go.
I know we love her.
But I know certain people at this point must be just like too through with Vicky though, because some people it's just too much happening. She's working too hard.
Yeah, I feel a little bit done with her, but at the same time, what would the show be without her?
Oh yeah, no,
You know?
she needs to stay.
Yeah, I don't want her to go.
I don't want her to go.
You guys imagine a Vicky list?
No, I want her
no.
to stay. And just,
we love her.
Yeah.
The OG
But I
of
wouldn't
VOC.
miss
Yeah.
Brooks.
It's her
That's for
show.
sure.
She says it's her
She
show.
could date. They could set her up on dates. We
She's
wanna
already
see-
dating, according to Brooks.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
see who she's
Good.
dating.
I like that version better. This whole Brooks version hasn't been
Right. I like that she
Hasn't been
can hire interns. They can do
Yes.
lots of things
A
with
whole
her.
thing. Yes, like so good.
And the few times when her and Brooks have been on and off, now mind you, they've been together almost since she and Don divorced. But the few times they have been on and off, there have been rumors that she's dating these really like high profile, really high quality, decent, like really men that you
You're gonna
know
see some of that.
you would be
Yeah.
okay with. That you'd be like, oh, get it, Vicky.
Yeah, go and see that.
It'd be nice to see her hook up with an
Yeah.
A+ OC
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, she belongs in a power couple.
Yes.
She did not some rented fur coat that he brought for the cameras. I love that. Anyway, let's take a look forward and see what's coming up on the reunion part 2. Looks like
Buzz TV prediction.
yes, Heather is going to be in it with Vicky. It looks like I usually you don't see her yelling or getting really even just like
Because
even
she
getting
lied.
upset.
She lied about that thing with the ER and Terry,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
can't bring
exactly.
Terry into it.
And
Yeah.
Heather's like your barometer for like rationality.
Yes.
You know? So when Heather gets heated, like something
Yeah.
is wrong.
She's justified.
Completely. I feel like everyone thinks that. Like even all the ladies on the show, I feel like they really do look to Heather as like the voice of reason.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
not quick to rush to judgment, and whenever she gets upset, it's like
Except when
something
she
meaningful.
threw Shannon out of her house.
Oh yeah.
Harsh. That was her
We're
one.
That was
done.
harsh.
Please leave.
Yeah.
That was harsh.
And then Shannon.
My children are in the house.
Yeah, she threw me out of her home. She kept having
Right.
to say it a million times. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I think that in that I think that my prediction is that probably not even in the second, and probably in the third part, it's gonna start coming out that Vicky is a little bit of a liar. I mean, that's what they're sort of
Yeah.
setting up, and then that's why they're all gonna sort of turn on her.
Yes.
But yeah, she was doing.
They're probably saving that because that's what
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
wanting
Yeah.
to see.
You know it's
so
gonna
that third
be-
part is going to be just a Vicky takedown.
Yeah. Yeah. Vicky looked tough at this reunion, I will say.
She had the tough face on.
Yeah, but she didn't look like she normally looks. I don't want to like comment on people's appearances, but I am.
Well, Andy
Looked
gestured
tough.
that she had taken a couple's Xanax, and she kind of did have that look on her face, like,
Yeah.
Well,
She
wouldn't
wasn't.
you?
She just wasn't. She
I
wasn't
wouldn't
looking her
want to sit there.
best.
I'm on it now.
Nothing either.
Oh, you mean physically?
It starts at 9 a.m. and they're there
She didn't
until
look
at
her
least
best.
6.
That's a lot of anxiety.
There was another lie besides that Terry thing. There was another. What was that other lie? Maybe it was about Brianna or something, or she was involved in that one. There was a couple lies that were surfacing, not just the Terry thing. It was something else, and I was
With
like,
Brooks and Vicky.
no, I think it was like a different lie that
Was it with
Vicky
Shannon?
told.
Was it? I'm trying to think. Was there something else with Shannon?
It was about somebody. It was definitely. Oh! It was about Meghan. It was about saying the 2 months and the 4 months. She just
Oh,
made
right,
that
right.
up.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
All
So
right.
she's
Yes.
just making up lies and blaming Brooks, and I mean, she's gonna come out as like a little tiny bit of a
Little
liar.
shifty.
Yeah.
One thing that just stuck out to me this episode was just the cutaways when they were showing the clips and when they show Meghan. She had such a little smirk on her face. She is so sure of herself. I like the confidence. I like it. No one's gonna knock
Yeah.
her down at this reunion.
Or Andy
Well, her
said,
hair looks good now.
it does look real good. I really like the new color, yes.
way
And
better.
Andy said, have you always been this confident? And she's like, yes, I have.
I've always been Meghan King.
I've always
Yeah.
been.
I love it. I love it. I want to see her come back. That's how I feel about her.
Agreed.
But
yes.
the husband
Oh
makes an
wait, that
appearance
was one of
next
my
week.
news things. Oh, there it is, a little line. Some fan tweeted at Vicky and said that Meghan should be fired, and Vicky tweeted back and said, "I agree." Okay.
Well, I don't know. Her husband's going to be making an appearance at the reunion, and I don't know why. What is he going to say?
Probably something extremely rude and
Yeah, and annoying and
condescending.
patronizing and sexist.
Don't they do that?
There
They
you
don't
go.
have-
There's the predictions.
Yeah.
Maybe that.
Because
maybe
even if he
that.
said one thing like that and a bunch of other stuff, that's what they would show, because we know that's what we've seen
Yeah.
of him anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Constantly.
And they normally always have that moment at the reunions where they like bring out the husbands for whatever moment it
Yeah.
is that they're
Yeah.
just trying to
To
like,
rehash whatever
Yeah.
thing involved the husbands. Yeah.
Well, the husbands are getting involved in these seasons.
Well, Terry
they are
loves the
getting
camera.
involved.
Terry loves to be in the scene. So.
He does, and Terry's got his own show now. So Terry's
Wouldn't
got
it
his
be
own
great
show.
if they brought out the husbands and then they straight up asked Vicky point blank that story she told about Terry asking the colleague to come
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
Maybe they-
IV
maybe
right.
they
in
Oh,
front
maybe
of
they
everybody?
will. Maybe they will.
Ooh, I'm excited for that.
That would be a reason
yes.
for bringing
Right?
Carrie and them in. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to do Vicky any favors, so we shall have to see. Meanwhile, you can keep the conversation going with us by tweeting us, of course, leaving comments below, rating us on iTunes, giving us thumbs up and 5 stars and all that stuff. So
We love it. We love it all.
Yes. So you can find me on Twitter at Grants__rants. You can find me on my podcast at Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. Where can we find you, all of you guys?
Yeah,
Start
good
here.
stuff. Well, everybody, please check out my YouTube channel, Christy Reports. I actually have some brand new reality TV news for you. And also keep up with me at ChristyReports.com.
And I am Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media, and our fantastic guests.
Oh.
Where can you be found?
Thank you. Where do I look? Okay. You can find me at Mr. Julie Goldman on Twitter and Julie Goldman's Couch on Instagram.
And I'm at the Brandy Howard, Brandy with a Y, on Twitter, and my Instagram is my dog, who's on People's Couch, Pee-wee's
Couch.
People's
No,
Couch. I don't
Pee-wee's
even know.
People's
Who
Couch.
cares?
Don't even
care
look
about
it up.
that
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Just pictures of the dog.
No.
All right, we'll catch them on the People's Couch Tuesdays at 10 on Bravo for the Real Housewives of Orange County. That'll do it for us for the reunion, part 1.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.